Welcome to another episode of Bull City Bravest podcast. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Tim McCoy. And today we have a special guest. We have the one, the only, the fabulous Captain Towner. How are you doing, Captain?
I'm doing great. Good morning. Thank you for that invitation to come out here and hang out with me today.
Anytime someone wants to come out of retirement and come sit with me, I'm always thankful and jealous at the same time because you've been retired, you've been busy. The group back here, the core group back here, has been keeping tabs on you. So we're always thankful to have you. Patrick, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing terrific. That's my my original boss, Captain Towner, is the one who hired me. So very excited to have her on. This is our Christmas episode, so thank you guys for tuning in and Merry Christmas. Hope you guys are having a good holiday. Tim, Captain Towner, how you guys feeling?
Feeling great.
Yeah, you've enjoyed your holiday festivities so far?
I have. It's been a blast. It's been really nice to have time to schedule things.
Right? Okay. Yeah. Talk about it.
Not have everything be so frantic trying to get ready for the holidays. Yeah, I retired December 1st a year ago. So
it's been a year?
It has been a year. Can you believe it? That first Christmas after I retired, you're still settling in. You're still trying to figure out what it looks like, and you still feel like you're
still
doing.
In work mode.
Yes, you still like you're doing everything on a schedule.
Yeah.
Now, it's been getting ready to go to Thanksgiving. Most everybody knows my family goes out of town for Thanksgiving. I have told several people that I felt like I was missing something because I had everything boxed up, packed up, baked, frozen, ready to go.
Yeah.
And I still had time, wasn't burning the midnight oil to get it done. So I must have missed something. But it's just that different feeling from working around a work schedule to having an open schedule.
That's something I've never really thought of. Like you're on this work schedule, whether it's the Monday through Friday schedule or whether it's your shift schedule, and you're so used to having to work around going with your days off, or just trying to rush because you only have certain days where you can fit things in, and just trying to cram everything in there. Yeah. So it is, from my perspective, it is also nice just being able to be like, all right, well, I have every Saturday this month where I can go see Christmas lights or whatever if I wanted to, or
do something, or you can say yes at the last minute.
Yeah.
Our family it's always been we're really scheduled around the holidays, especially because people have so many different places to go. And now being able to say yes to something kind of last minute it takes a little bit of getting used to.
And your kids are grown, but you have grandkids.
I have 4 kids. They're all grown. I have 10 grandkids.
10 grandkids. Are they all like coming over to your house, or do you?
We all get together for Thanksgiving, and then because they're in different places, they're in Wisconsin, they're in Florida, they're in South Carolina, and then 4 here in Durham. Thanksgiving's the big deal. And then Christmas is bits and pieces. We go to South Carolina. Okay. We don't see the Wisconsin family at Christmas because there's just too much traveling, too much going on.
Jeez. So, that's awesome. Fun. Well, listen, we're going to get into your family tree because it's pretty connected here with the DFD.
It's very connected.
Y'all connected here to DFD, so we're going to get into that. I do want to shout out the Christmas decorations Patrick put up here. Yeah. You got some nutcracker stuff. You got a house, it's just a classic house with the chimney, and you gotta have the Christmas tree here. So
he told me this was the Christmas show, so I wore my Christmas lights and my Christmas trees.
Listen, it's very festive.
Got a lot of pressure from you guys to come out here and do this podcast.
Well, you know just as well as we know in this division, or it's very. This time of the year gets busy. You got
very busy. Parade,
Toys for Rides. You got all type of stuff going on, collecting toys, delivering goodies. So it is busy. So this is like we're right here, week of, and we finally able to cram something in there. So, and even now we got a bunch of toys. You came through, you just walked through the landmine of toys. I was hoping like for me, when I walk through my house, I step on a Lego block. That is the worst pain. A Lego block in your big toe or your foot is terrible. So,
But all these presents that are going to continue to go out into the community, what a wonderful problem to have.
well, how did that start? Did that start with you? Like, when
Well, no.
Toys for Rise. When did Toys for Rise start?
Okay, so years ago, and I can't tell you, I'm not like Gray. I can't tell you dates and times and all that kind of stuff like Gray could when he did his podcast. Because it all kinds of run together after 30 years. But, so we did it at Station 2 for a while. And people in the community would just come to the station. They'd get a ride around the block. They'd leave toys. You know, it was a holiday thing. And we didn't do it for a long time. And then when I was doing the community education, Mario Herrera said, we need to do Toys for Rides again. And so we started looking into it, and we're like, yeah, I think we can pull this off. So we started out on the training grounds, and then we just have expanded in different ways until this year. I mean, what y'all did this year was phenomenal.
Central Park, yeah, man. Central Park shut down the block, and we had a good turnout. Shout out to Mario. I didn't realize Mario.
Yeah, Mario was the one who said, "Hey, we need to do this."
Shout out to Mario, who's a driver here at the DFD, man. Awesome, very legendary himself. He's been here for a while.
He got people interested in coming out and volunteering to do the driving of the trucks for the first couple of Toys for Rides that we did, and we've had drivers that have come back and done it regardless of what shift they were working on for several years since, because they just enjoy it.
He's an organizer. Like he may try to act like he's not, but anytime we do like softball or some type of competition like that, Mario is always behind the scenes, like putting some things together and like kind of.
He's good at encouraging / pushing people.
Oh look, yeah. Listen, well, let's talk about your journey. First and foremost, I want to shout out because you're the first female we've had on the podcast. So you have a different. Let's clap it up. For the studio audience. Listen, you're the first female to come on this podcast, and you offer a perspective that none of the other guests can offer. So we're going to get into that aspect of like what it is to be a female in the fire service, and a female that's a mom and have a family, and what's that balance is like. But can you first of all tell me how you got into it, and then what age were you when you got into it?
I think I was about 31 when I was going through the process to get into the academy. And it was very accidental. So the job that I was working here in town, they were doing a lot of reorganization. The department that I worked in was going to different places that I had no desire to move to. Born and raised in Durham. I don't know, that's kind of a unicorn sometimes when you're out talking to people about where they came from, because so many people come to the area. But I was born and raised in Durham.
Okay.
Didn't have any desire to move where the other opportunities were. So my grand plan was to get my EMT, work ambulances nights and weekends, and go to nursing school. Be a nurse. I figured a nurse was a very transportable job. If I did decide I wanted to go someplace, I could go and be a nurse anywhere.
Okay.
And I met some firefighters, because this was just as Durham was getting ready to start running 911 EMS calls.
Okay.
So I met some firefighters that were also in the EMT class. They were trying to give themselves kind of a leg up when the department started running calls. And we were going to school a couple nights a week. I forget how many weeks it was. It felt like a long time.
Hold on, you say you met were these Durham firefighters?
Durham firefighters.
So you met some Durham firefighters. They were taking
in the class.
They were taking EMT class. Must have been when Durham just switched over to.
It was when Durham was just getting ready to start running EMS calls.
Okay, so they got their EMT.
They were trying to get their EMT before Durham started offering it as part of the academy, because they'd already been in the fire department for a little while.
Does anybody know? Who was it?
It was Bobby Boning.
Bobby Boning. Captain Boning.
It was
Chief Boning.
Chief Boning.
Yeah.
It was David Elston.
Okay, Chief Elston.
And John Olson. It's quite an interesting mix of
Okay.
people that were in that class. And over the course of
Type A personalities.
yes, over the course of the classes that we were doing, it's once that class gets started, the same people stay in it all the time.
Yeah.
And so you kind of start chatting, what do you do now? Why are you doing this? And they just in talking significantly, Bobby was a really good resource. And I said, well, I'm going to have to get another job. This is my plan. And Bobby's the one that said, well, fire department's hiring. You ought to, if you're interested in the EMS side, they're getting ready to start running EMS calls. We're going to have an academy coming up. You ought to just go to one of the open houses and see what it's all about. They were doing open houses here at admin in the auditorium.
Now, when he mentioned it, were you like a physical hands-on type person, or were you?
I always liked the outdoors.
Okay.
I always liked, hiking and swimming and snow skiing and water skiing and stuff like that. So I liked the outdoors. I liked moving around. But my jobs before then had been very traditional. I'd worked office jobs for different companies, construction company, the phone company, but they'd all been more traditionally female office type jobs.
Okay.
But I was really loving the EMT class that I was in. So he said, hey, here's the flyer. This is the open house. Come out and listen to what they got to say. So I came to the open house and I listened to it. And I'm like, this is pretty interesting. But you're constantly saying, I don't know. This is something that I can do. And then at the open house, they get you to sign up for, I think it was the written test. I can't remember which one they did first, but one of the tests. They said, go ahead. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. Go ahead and sign up. So I signed up. Give you the little booklet. They gave you a little booklet that you could study different aspects of the written test and sign up for a date. Okay, but then I passed the written test.
So they gave you a study guide, or like a?
It was like a little, just more of a pamphlet, maybe 10 or so pages, and it just went over some reading, went over some math, some things that you might have to. I remember the thing that I'm like, this doesn't make much sense, was the cogs and wheels.
Oh yeah.
They had diagrams.
It's
if cog A is going
one,
this way, then what direction is cog
gears,
F going in? And I'm like, okay, my brain doesn't work like that. But so you come back and you take the written test. And I passed the written test. And I said, well, while you're here, go ahead and schedule the agility test. So you schedule the agility test and you come back. The day of the agility test, it was in January, and it was rainy/sleety. And we still
did the test?
Still did the test. Now I was still working for the company that was getting ready to move. It was GTE at the time. And so I got back to work after the agility test, and I told my boss then, I said, you're not going to believe this, but I passed that agility test. I said, now what am I going to do? And he said, just keep following through. Got my letter that said, hey, come on out and join. If you want to join the Durham Fire Department, you've got a spot.
Now, there's a couple questions I got here. Okay, first and foremost, how many people were in the process with you? Do you remember?
I do not remember. I wish I did.
Secondly, your agility test, like what was that like? Because I know when I went through, it's different from what it is now.
From what it is now, you had to, and I may not even be able to remember the other ones. You had to couple and uncouple hoses.
Okay, that was safe for me.
You had to climb up a ladder, wrap your leg through one of the rungs, and hang back off of it. You had to run.
Okay.
You had to raise a ladder. So the coupling and uncoupling, Bobby, he was working at Station 9 at the time. That'll get some people. Yeah, and I'd never seen any of this. Now, I had a grandfather and an uncle who were volunteer firefighters out at Bahama. Years ago,
Really?
really, really years ago, and so that was my whole experience with anything that was firefighter related. Was that sometimes they'd just have to leave whatever we were doing because they had to go. Because this was the big siren went off in town. Oh, it's the
big one. Was it page? They didn't have little pages.
I don't think they ever had pages. If they did, I never saw it. They heard the noise and they went to the station. So that was kind of that was a very good rendition of that horn.
So Redwood used to have still had it up outside of the
Their station.
Yeah, they still had it up. It's not there
Yeah.
anymore. But okay, so you remember your uncle? So that was like you knew something about the fire.
Knew a little bit about it.
Did they talk about it much?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really. It was just something that they did.
So but that was your first introduction to like what volunteer fire service was.
So, I told Bobby when I was looking at the list of things you had to do for the, because we're still in EMT class too, for the list of things that you had to do for the agility test, I'm like, I'm not even sure what they're talking about, with the hose and the coupling and everything. And I think we were hooking up the hose to a monitor. I can't remember exactly what you were.
I think mine was like a
the
standpipe
hose.
connection.
Yeah.
Burn
Yeah. No, it wasn't. I know it wasn't that. So Bobby said, "We'll stop by the station." And so Captain Seward was over here. That's who Bobby was working for. It's the old station. Well, Station 9. That was the one at the time. So they, showed the hose, figure out how the couplings and everything work. So it was kind of a let me do this part of it and see how I do.
Yeah.
And if I get past this part, then I'll worry about the next part. Because at the same time, I'm still doing the EMT class, still thinking about nursing school and working the job that was going to be going away pretty soon. And so I got that letter, and I was really, by that time, I'd learned a little bit more about the fire service, and I liked the experience that I had going through the process.
Okay.
And so
Had to make a decision.
I'm like, yeah, let's go see how this works out.
And what year was that when you
So my academy, we started in 1994. I joined the
94.
fire department in 94. So
Okay.
January we were going through, all the testing, and I'm pretty the academy started in June of 94.
All right.
And I was looking at something was on the wall in here about the academy that's going on right now. It's 40.
It's
Is it 40 or more than that?
I think it started off with 36, and I think don't quote me on the number. They've lost a couple.
Okay.
Some.
No, I'm talking about the academy number.
Class is class
Class.
number 40.
Okay, mine was academy number 8.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh wow is right. Oh wow is 8.
Academy 8.
Yes.
Wow. That's
You'd think we're all dead or something, but we're not. We're not.
well. The department is as a standalone department is only 40 years old. Truly, if you look at when PD and the fire
public
separated,
safety, when they
went
split.
away, it was 86.
Yep.
So we're right at 40 years.
Yeah. So I still worked with people that
39,
had been
so,
public safety and chose to come when the department split. Chose to come
Okay.
to the fire side.
Yeah.
And then I worked with some of our people who had stayed fire. We had a very small pocket of firefighters who were never public safety. They were at Station 3, they were at Station 1, they drove, some of the different, and again, Gray could call all the names of all the trucks that they drove. I cannot. So it's been very, very interesting to know some of those people, know some of the people that were public safety and then decided to become fire full time, and then to get to know people that, like myself, that were just fire, or I guess fire and EMS, because the department was already starting to run EMS calls by the time I got out of the academy.
Okay.
So
you first of all, I just want to correct this. It was 85 when it split. I said 86, but so we're right at 40 years. When you go first day in the academy, what was it like? Like, was there any other females in the academy with you? What was your thoughts? How was your academy experience? Just tell me about that part of it.
So, first day in the academy, and you do run into some of the people that are going to ultimately be in the academy with you in some of
Throughout the process.
the parts.
Right, yeah.
But you don't know it. You don't know it till the end. You don't know who got letters till the end. And first day in the academy, one of the people in the academy was Greg McGee, Creedmoor.
Yeah, okay, Creedmoor. Shout out
We
Creedmoor.
graduated from Southern High School together in 1980. And we
Oh,
really
man.
had not seen. He went to the Navy,
Okay.
and I started working, and we had not seen each other again until we got into the academy on our first day in the Durham Fire Department Academy.
Wow.
So that was kind of,
So you
that
had
was
a
kind of
familiar
wild.
face.
Had a familiar face in there,
Right.
which was really nice. Then there were, besides myself, there were 3 other females in the
Okay.
academy. So I think four females in one academy
That's
was
pretty strong. That's strong.
pretty strong,
Yeah,
pretty
especially
strong
in
number of
94, that's
people.
strong, yeah.
We graduated 3 of us. One of them didn't make it through the academy, and I think we had 18. I think we ended up with 18 people
Okay. So
that
it was a
made it
solid
through the
size.
academy. So it's
What
pretty
was
good.
that? What was that academy experience like? Just was it? Did you find it challenging? Did you find it pretty? Who were your academy instructors?
Okay.
And then, did you find it challenging? Was it anything harder than what you expected? Was it, or do you feel like people in the academy were harder on you? Do you feel like the academy cadre was harder on you because of just wanting to make sure you could do the job? Or?
We had 3 training captains:
Okay.
Krakowski, Seward,
Crow. Okay.
and Boyd.
Boyd.
Captain Boyd at the time. I mean, they all got
Yeah.
other ranks, but at the time they were all the training captains.
So-
They divided us up.
Uh-huh.
So each of those captains had their squad of people that they were basically responsible for making sure that this 1/3 of the academy did what they were supposed to do. They taught some of our classes, but a lot of captains and instructors from operations came in and taught some of our classes too.
Okay.
So, but that was like Captain Crow was my training captain, and so if I had a question, it's just like on the truck, if you had your people that you went to, and Chief Christian was in charge of training at the time. And we were still here on the training grounds, we had our classroom was kind of in this end of the building. It was before it was all offices. And it was, like, initially it's a little overwhelming. And I felt pretty comfortable with the EMT part of it because you still had EMT training in the academy, but I
Right.
had the class that I'd already gone through that made that a little bit easier.
Did you get certified before you started the
I
academy?
did.
Okay.
I
all
did.
right.
But then I went through it again.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't really used it. So
Yeah.
going through it again was a good thing.
It is always good to just a refresher. I mean, again,
Yes.
and just how we Durham do things versus maybe if you came from another agency or whatever, it would be different. You have to.
Oh yeah,
learn,
yeah.
it'd be a
No,
learning
I
curve.
think it's a good thing to go through and everybody kind
Yeah.
of get to be on the same page. I did end up enjoying the fireside a whole lot more than I thought I was going to.
Really?
All aspects of it. I really, I enjoyed the challenge,
Okay.
and I enjoyed that you were kind of working with your squad to do whatever when they divided you up, and this group's over here putting on their turnout gear fast, and this
Yeah.
group's over here doing their, breathing and crawling and all that kind of stuff. Oh, that was one more thing we had to do. We had to put the blacked out face mask on for the agility
Yeah.
test, and I want to say they put us through a little bit of the maze. Not the whole thing that you do in training, but you had
Yeah,
to,
like the
they blacked
trailer?
out the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was, I just remembered that was part
Yeah.
of what you had to go through.
Yeah, I think we had the same kind of process. I had
sounds
the
like
trailer, the steep, not steep, but you climb the ladder.
Climb
You
the
had to
ladder,
do,
hang off
reach
of
and
it.
stretch. You had
Yep.
to do, yeah. So I feel like it's the same thing. So the academy, it was challenging, but you embraced the challenge. It was,
Yeah. Again, it's 5 days a week, long days. We were here. We didn't have a set number of hours that we were going to be there. We were going to be there till they
So you got
finished
finished, yeah.
with what the instructors had on tap for that day.
Yep.
And, we came in, we did the workout and everything in the morning. Some days we ran. That was never my favorite part. And some days we were in the gym in there, and we did calisthenics and wind
Okay.
sprints and all the stuff that you had to do in high school and gym that you really didn't want to do. We did it again. So, yeah, and then before you know it,
You're out.
you're out.
Created bonds, and you're out. Where did you go?
Station 2.
Station 2, Ninth
Station
Street.
2, 9th Street.
So who was your first? What was your first crew? You remember your captain?
Captain Baker.
Okay.
He was captain on Engine
Captain
2 at
Baker.
the time.
All right.
Jimmy Vollers,
Okay.
fabulous engine driver, knew Duke University like the back of his hand, hospital. John Barnes was
Okay.
on the truck.
All right.
And at the time, Captain Thaxton, he was firefighter Thaxton. He got moved probably because I came, because there were already 4 people on the truck. But that was the crew that was at Station 2 on the engine. And we had an engine, a battalion chief, and the ladder truck at Station 2 then. And it was, it was great. We show up.
So Thaxton, John Barnes, Captain Baker,
Vollers.
and Jimmy. They were all on Engine 2.
They were all on Engine 2. There was
Okay.
4 of them on Engine 2.
What about Ladder 2? Who was on Ladder 2? You remember?
Ladder 2 was Captain Oliver, Frank Whitfield, Lou Wheeler, and Jody Morton, who became my boss once I came to community education.
Oh, full
he
circles.
was still, yeah, he was
Fire department's all
still,
about full circles.
yeah, he was still in operations
Yeah.
when I came out of the academy.
Okay.
And then, eventually he went to fire prevention and
Yeah.
then became the chief over here. But, so it was there was a lot going on at Station 2. It was a fairly active truck, even though, the history in the fire department says all they did was run automatic fire alarms. We did run a lot of automatic fire alarms, but that wasn't all we ran. There were, we were doing the EMS. EMS was still fairly new.
I was about
to
to ask,
everybody.
Was it like you? Was it what you expected coming out? I mean, I know you didn't know, like the fire service was new to you. You just know, you said your uncle seeing them, but being in it now, was it a shock to you how it actually was, or did you kind of have a gauge of what you thought it might
By
be?
that time, after going through the academy, you start to get a little bit of an idea of how things are going to look. You don't have any idea what your 24-hour day is going to look like until you start doing it, because that's a brand new animal all the way around. Even though the academy days were long, the idea of getting to work at 7 o'clock is the start time. I always tried to be at work no later than 6:30.
Especially as a rookie, you got to be there early.
Oh, for sure.
You got to make that coffee and get newspaper back then. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
get the newspaper, make the coffee, figure out what's going on. So, and that was one thing I pretty much tried to always do, is be at work real early. I liked to be at work an hour before my shift started, because you're not rushing into anything.
Right.
That's another beauty of retirement, is that I don't feel the need to be an hour early everywhere I go.
Get to slow down, yeah.
As y'all may have noticed.
Listen, hey, you get trained to get early everywhere. Like, even when I'm out, my wife was like, I know the party's supposed to start at this time. We're going to leave
At this time.
At this time, so
Yep.
we can get there early.
Yep.
But she's like, why do you want to get there early? Why do you want to get there early? So I was always just, once you get trained to be early to everything, you kind of like, it's ingrained in you to
Yeah.
try to get there. So
It gets to be a habit. It gets to be a habit.
So your first assignment, Station 2, like, did you get a lot of experience there? Anything special stand out at your time?
So we had one of the getting kind of a handle on the EMS stuff, because when the city first started running EMS calls, or the fire department first started running EMS calls, they went through several figuring out exactly what we are going to run.
Yeah, okay, I was
You're going
gonna
to
ask
run
that.
everything, and then we're only going to run life threatening, because it was. And I think until you do it, you don't understand what it's going to add to your day. So initially we were running a lot. We were running pretty much anything that came out. And then they worked through that and figured out that we could be of better benefit if we run the more life-threatening, cardiac, respiratory, those type of wrecks. The fire department's always going to do initial medical care in wrecks and all. So that was a little bit of an adjustment period through there.
How many calls would you say when y'all were running everything? How many calls did you say you guys were running at that time?
Oh, I don't have any idea. The days felt very, very busy.
Okay.
Because we had, station cleanup. We had training time. You went over map books. There weren't computers on the truck, and people didn't have phones in their face telling them everywhere to go. So, we were given sections of your district. And even though I wasn't going to touch the steering wheel of a fire truck unless it was to clean it for years to come, I still needed to know my territory. So territorial studies was a big thing, especially with having Duke and how much that they grow all the time.
Listen, a lot of people, that is a lost art.
That is a lost art.
It's a lost art in the fire service. Some people really still do it. I forgot who was telling me. I think it was, don't get me wrong. If I'm wrong, I apologize. I think it was Canner, the agency he came from. They, I believe, part of, before you could become a driver, you had to know, or before you became a relief driver, they were required to learn not only their district, but the neighboring districts beside them.
Yeah.
And they did a map test.
Yeah.
So they kind of force you to learn maps. But it is a lost art. We don't put as much into map. Now, the good drivers do, and they want to learn, and people like that. But just as a whole, like you said, I remember everyone pretty much had to learn their district. And,
yeah. You had to learn your district. You had to learn it where you kind of knew where you were, the direction that you were headed in. You needed to know at least and like I say, Jimmy Vollers, he was really great in that. Well, great driver anyway, but great in that district for sure.
And Duke's a different monster in itself.
It's a whole different monster.
Duke by itself
now it's even worse.
Yeah, Duke by itself is just
it's like
dorms,
another city.
Campuses. It's its own little city within itself, and then you got to remember buildings, where it's at, located, alarm panels for all the buildings or whatever's going. It's in itself, it's a task just to learn, dude. Mm-hmm. That's why if you get a good driver that learns that district, just keep them there.
Keep them, yeah.
Keep them. That crew knows those buildings.
Yeah, and Captain Baker really appreciated Jimmy because Jimmy could put him at whatever door, best entrance, best driveway.
Oh man,
anywhere he needed to be.
Oh man.
So Captain Baker really didn't even have to worry about getting which way do you turn out of the station.
He could focus on what you guys were going to do.
Listen to the radio.
Listen to the radio, right.
Listen to the ops channel. You had to hear all that when they dispatched it.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't look at the computer on the truck and say, oh yeah, my ops channel is such and such. You had to hear all that and retain all that while you're on the way down to the truck and you're putting your gear on. Future
drivers, this is just a little bit of advice coming from someone on both sides, both ridden in the captain's seat. And you make it a lot easier on your captain if you at least know which direction you need to head. If you can at least get close to the scene, because then he can. Then once you get in, he can guide you in if need be. But it relieves a lot of pressure from the captain. Instead of focusing on the map and trying to figure out, all right, and we're going the right way or whatever case, that relieves him a lot. So just having someone like that is a very valuable asset.
It is a very valuable asset because it's the books were listed out, turn left out of the station, take a right on 9th Street, that kind of thing. So, but the driver knowing what to do those first couple of turns gives the captain a chance to get in the truck
finish
and
getting
thumb
gear
through
on,
the book.
Finish all that stuff.
And then finish it out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's also, which as a society, we become too dependent on technology anyway.
Too dependent on technology.
People can't spell, they can't count money. It's just we're too dependent. Technology is gonna be the downfall of syllabus of us as a oh my God,
civilization.
Patrick, cut this out. That was terrible. No. All right. So how long were you at 2 for?
I was at 2 for several years.
3, 4? Or?
Probably 4, probably
4
at
years?
least 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
And with basically that same makeup at the station, we had other people, that
Filtering.
would come through.
Yeah.
But basically that same crew was there. So we, you get really tight. While we were there, they were redoing Station 1. So the rescue truck came up there with us for a while and were housed with us for a while till they got Station 1 remodeled. I was also at 2 when, I want to say it was Engine 7. They were doing some work on the pad at Engine 7. So Engine 7 came and lived with us for a little while. That was probably one of the first times they'd done some work on the pad at Station 7. They've had to do that a couple of times. It after you, just like now, after you had been released by your captain, they felt like you had enough of a handle on what your job as a firefighter was, then they might start roving you to different stations. That was, to go there and fill in, but it was like, oh, but I want to stay here. You get really, really comfortable with your people and with your truck and with the routine at that station. One of the first things that you had to do once you got an assignment, out of the academy, is you had to learn where your stuff was on your truck. By that first work period, your captain better be able to hand him what he asked for.
Yep.
Or somebody put their hand on the door and you tell them everything that's inside that compartment. So your first few work periods, it's just kind of trying to get comfortable in your space.
And that's what I believe they're still doing that. I know we were doing it at Station 1 whenever we got a rookie. Like that was their first assignment was, hey, make an inventory list. Mm-hmm. One, it just allows you can recall things better when you write it down. Mm-hmm. So it allows you to recall where inventory was and get real familiar with the truck. And so it was like one of the things, you got to print on an inventory list, and then we use that inventory list as our check-off sheet in the morning. Yeah, mm-hmm. So we utilize that. So
to make sure everything's where it's supposed to be.
Yep. So that is something that is very important for all you new folks out there. If you're not doing it, no better way to learn your truck than to do an inventory list, because it'll help you out a lot.
I know some of the things, that we did back then might have felt like busy work. Our call volume, obviously the call volume in the city of Durham has risen through the years, and trucks are a lot busier now. Just about all trucks. There really aren't a whole lot of slow trucks in the city anymore. But one of the things, Friday was always truck day, truck and yard. Mm-hmm. And truck day then was, you pull everything out of that truck. You pull the mats out of the compartments.
Get the grease.
Get the grease out. Get the grease off the mats. And you might have to stop and start that 2 or 3 times in the course of that Friday, because you got to put everything back, run a call, come back, drag it all out again. But that's what you did every Friday. Yeah. Every Saturday was station cleanup, and first of the month that meant windows, and Station 2 was a big station, so there were station cleanup wasn't done by 11 o'clock in the morning. Station cleanup was
all day. That's how it was when I first got out. And y'all, I've never experienced this, but they used to talk about the white glove. Did y'all have the white glove inspections?
I don't remember having anybody do that. I remember that occasionally, a battalion chief would say, well, like point at something and be like, well, what about that? Whether it was old stain or smudges on the windows, or somebody had forgotten to do the door, the door glass or something like that, because they were paying attention to.
Yeah, Captain Farrell, man. Him and Chief Hoxie, what Captain Hoxie did, man. Like you said, Saturday cleanup was like start right after breakfast, and then it usually was like to 3 or 4 o'clock, and it's just like cleaning everything, the window sills, you cleaning everything, and it was even the attic space at 2. We used to go up there, make sure that was straight, man. It was
clean everything, and the pit on the right-hand side of the station.
Man,
you had to go in there, muck out all the leaves and the mud and that kind of stuff.
Saturday cleanups
can
be very intensive, and especially when you run a bunch of calls, like you feel like you'll never finish. You're like, oh my God, and then pulling the stoves out, cleaning behind those, cleaning all the grease off the. It was very detailed cleanup.
Very detailed cleanup.
As you say, we are busier. There are some stations that still get detailed cleanups. It's not as frequent now because just because you don't have the time to do it.
Yeah.
Whether there's some type of training going on or whatever, you don't have as much time. I know one thing that I've seen, like we used to do on Rescue 1 is like Captain Maurer was very good at like we didn't pull out every compartment on one Friday, but like maybe this Friday we're doing this compartment, and then next Friday we're doing this compartment, and we'll detail one compartment.
Yeah, I did notice that at several stations that I was at, further into my career, because of time, you started doing that. You'd pick a part of the station.
Yeah.
This Saturday, whoever's working this Saturday, the bay gets extra work, extra attention.
And I know they used to buff floors
Buff floors. We always buff floors at Station 2. Well, actually, buff floors at a lot of the stations that I was at.
Yeah, we would buff floors, but it wasn't as frequent. Again, it was like a once a month thing, or like as needed type thing. Where I hear some of the older heads say that buffing was like every Saturday you buffed it.
Now, I don't recall us doing it every Saturday, but some days it felt like it was every Saturday.
So you were at 2 for 4 years. Did you get your relief driver at 2, or did you wait? When did you?
No, I got my relief driver when I was at by the time Calvin Harris came out after me. I don't remember how many years. Well, I think he was in Academy 9, so he was the next rookie after me. The city got on a schedule of having an academy almost every year. And so Calvin Harris was there. We worked at Station 2 together for a good while. And we both had some interest when they started developing the Swift Water team.
Okay.
We both had, and the Swift Water team was going to go to Station 7. Okay. So we took Swift Water classes. Calvin had already been at Station 2 a couple of 3 years too. And
shout out to driver Harris.
Yes.
Big calves.
Who is also retired already.
Huge calves. Yeah, retired.
Man, he's a beast. He's a very strong man. But anyway, so we were interested in Swift Water.
Okay.
And we took the classes, and then we both ended up going to Station 7 because that was going to be the Swift Water team.
Okay.
But it was at least, and that's where I started working on relief driver. It wasn't, at the time, you didn't start working on your relief driver as soon as you were off your probation as a new firefighter. There was, you needed the conventional wisdom was you needed to be comfortable in your firefighting job before you started thinking about another job. And other than just being a real involved part of the Friday cleanup on the truck and making sure that you did whatever the driver wanted you to do, you weren't concerned about getting behind the wheel for any length of time. I think I was probably 5 years in.
Okay. Yeah.
Before I got my relief driver. And I learned how to drive on our 1974 Ward La France.
Wow.
That was the truck I learned to drive on.
So it was already 20-year-old truck.
Yeah.
When you went to
20 plus year old.
So okay.
We weren't getting trucks replaced the way that they're getting replaced these days.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I told the story before, but when I first came to 10 was still an open cab when I rode out there as a rookie, and that was 06. And I was like, wow, we got an open cab truck. It got replaced that year, but so the truck replacement schedule is way better than than what it used to be. But but like you said, that was one thing that I was told, learn your job, like be good at your job first. You can't be a good driver until you're a good firefighter. You can't be a good captain until you've been good at both driving and being a firefighter. So there tends to be a trend now where people are getting checked off pretty quickly, but I think there is importance in just making sure that you know the basics first at your job.
Yeah. No, I think that's important, and I understand needs of the department, where our department fluctuates I guess, maybe more now than it used to. People come and stay for a few years, and then for various and sundry reasons they leave. Back then, the expectation was that you were going to be a Durham firefighter for 30 years. People didn't leave and go someplace else the way they do more so now. Departments weren't taking somebody. If you wanted to go to another department, you went through another academy.
Yeah.
And now with lateral moves, there's just a little more fluctuation in the people in the fire department now than it used to be.
Well, I think that's a societal thing again.
That's true.
I think now the problem that we find when it comes to retention is you're competing with other departments with pay and benefits packages, but also just in society now, people don't work jobs for 30 years. Like people used to keep cars until the cars didn't run no more. Now
drive them till the wheels fall off.
Now we upgrade them every couple of years. Or same with homes. People aren't staying in homes forever. They're constantly upgrading. So I think it's just our mindset now. Like people don't stay on jobs. It's very rare you find someone that stays on a job for 30 years because now it's like, hey, if I move here, I can make more money. I can, it's more versus, selling your retirement. Now, with that being said, once you got 5 years in, did you feel like did you know this was going to be a job you was going to stay due to long?
Yes.
Okay.
Because, I had done several other jobs before I found the fire department. And by the time I was vested, had my 5 years in, I knew it was the job that I wanted to stay in. The schedule, for one thing.
I was about to say, what made you realize this was a job for you?
Well, I'm born and raised in Durham. I'm not going not
Homegrown.
going anywhere else. Homegrown. I'm staying here. I found a job that I really, really enjoyed. All my assignments I really enjoyed, and I just knew that this was where I was going to stay. I had no idea what the 30-year end would look like. I figured I'd just progress through different stations and different parts. Coming out and knowing that you're going to work 30 years. I'm like, I'll be a firefighter for 10 years. And this was very early. I'll be a firefighter for 10 years, and then I'll be a driver for 10 years, and then I'll be a captain
that
for 10
was
years.
my plan, 10, 10, 10.
That was my plan.
Yeah, that was my plan.
I'm like, that sounds good. I can, I can get halfway decent at the different jobs if I stick with them for that length of time. And, the more you learn about the job, then you're like, I probably need to go ahead and go up in this promotion process.
Yeah.
Didn't really, once I got to be driver, I loved driving.
Okay.
I love driving.
Hold on. So you went to 7, you got your relief driver.
Got my relief driver there.
What was your crew at 7?
So Bobby ended up being out there.
Okay.
He helped me a lot with getting my relief driver.
Okay.
And so I worked for Captain, for Danny Pesh at 7.
Pesci, baby.
Yeah. And
Shout out Captain Pesh.
And Calvin was on the truck with us, and Bobby was driving.
Okay, Calvin Harris.
So we had a really, really good time there at Station 7.
How long were you at 7 for?
Why are you asking me great questions?
Correct question.
I don't remember all the...
Was it longer than you were at Station 2 or shorter?
It was probably about the same time. Because then they moved Swift Water Team to Station... When they opened Station 14, they moved the Swift Water Team out there. So the ones that were on Engine 7 doing the Swift Water, we went out to Station 14. And we're out there. And that was the first time I was in, because meanwhile, they had put an Engine 14 in service at Station 7. And that's where Captain Oliver came to Station 7, and Frank Whitfield came to Station 7 on Engine 14. But then when in the process of building the station, they decided that the Swift Water Team would be better assigned to Engine 14. They had more room. They had the extra truck. They had room for the boat. So when they opened Station 14, that Engine 7 crew went out there. So it was Captain Pesh. I think Bobby was out there for a little while. Or maybe I had already made driver. Anyway.
I didn't. I didn't realize. I always thought Captain Bonin was like a ladder guy through and through. I didn't know he was.
Well, he was over on, Engine 14
Yeah.
with that crew some too, but he was out there. He drove an engine for a while.
So you went out. You went north to 14.
Went north to 14.
Became driver. Mm-hmm. And you said driver was it for you. Like you.
I loved it. I loved driving.
What'd you like about driving?
I liked taking care of the truck, the equipment. I think that's something that Jimmy Vollers had instilled, knowing your truck, knowing where everything was on it, knowing when something needed to be taken care of. I just enjoyed driving. It's kind of that mid-range, you're not low person on the totem pole. You've got a little bit of knowledge, but you've still got somebody backing you up when it comes to the captain that you work for.
Yeah.
And I was out at 14 for a long time driving, and like the department starts to change, then you also end up acting captain a lot.
Okay. Pause real quick, because 5 years at 2, 4 or 5 years at 2, 4 or 5 years at 7. I'm gonna ask the question that everybody's dying to know. When did you meet old Captain Towner?
Oh,
the other Captain Towner.
Oh, the other Captain Towner. I met him right out of the academy. In the academy, actually, he was one of our instructors.
Okay.
Yeah. So I joined the department in '94.
Okay.
And then we got married in '95.
Okay.
So that was early on.
Early on.
Early on.
Okay. Love at first sight.
He was on pretty much. He was on. So I came out of the academy and went to C shift. He was already on B shift.
Okay.
And he had children from a previous marriage, which became my children. Mm-hmm. So we stayed on opposite shifts for pretty much our whole career because we had kids.
Just made babysitting or child care easier.
Yeah, and the kids were not babies at the time,
right.
But a parent needed to be home,
right,
all the time, every night, at least every night. So he was on B shift, I was on C shift. Of course, we go through our lives and our lives of raising kids, thinking, well, as soon as all the kids are gone, we're going to get back. We'll get on the same shift, and the department would have moved us on the same shift if we had requested it. But by the time you spend that much time with your shift, and he had been with his shift forever.
Okay.
It's like, well, if you want us to be on the same shift, then you move. And it was kind of the same conversation for him. Well, if you want us to be on the same shift, then you need to request a move. So we didn't. We ended up staying on opposite shifts.
I didn't realize y'all were on opposite shifts. I mean, I was on A shifts. So I was on either one of the shifts. So
yeah,
I didn't realize you guys were on opposite shifts for your whole career. That's all.
Our whole
but
career.
It makes sense because you're now a parent, and I know that's one thing I tell people that's looking to get in this job is, it's a great career. I love it. It can be hard when it comes to the family work.
It can be hard on your family, but it can also be opposite shifts can also be a good thing.
Well, that's where it worked out in your case, right?
I had my 10 days at work, I had my 10 days with my husband, and I had 10 days to myself. That is the recipe for a perfect marriage. Absolutely. And he had the same thing.
Yeah.
So
and you're like this cool now. I don't know if you was a wild Thundercat in your younger years, but you and Captain Towner are like polar opposites. Just from the outside, me looking, just knowing Wild Bill, being known as Wild Bill, just because the antics. Like, he is a prankster, fun-loving, like to have fun type of guy.
He's on. When he's out around people, he's always
100%.
Yep.
Wide open, entertaining.
I
mean, we talking about a fireman's fireman. This is a fireman's fireman. Like, this is you can't. The definition of a fireman and just how they act. This is one of those guys. Like,
yeah.
So again, I know you from just like work and just seeing you at work. I know people he may turn it off, so maybe something different. But I just couldn't imagine, like, y'all just seem so different, like, and opposites attract.
Opposites attract.
So
Yep.
it could work. You could be the yin to his yang, the peace to his,
Yep.
the calm, peace and calm to.
Yeah. And
the
he is a
wild
lot.
crazy.
I mean, like I said, he's on when he's around people. That's what made him. He was a phenomenal instructor. He did a lot of teaching.
Very popular.
Yeah,
Super
in the fire
popular.
department, and then a lot of teaching outside the department. Everybody knows firefighters have lots of different jobs, and so teaching was one of his. And he's really, really good at
And passionate about
teaching and passionate about it. Yep.
Now, when you were at Station 2, was he at Station 2?
He was at Station 2 on
as well?
opposite shift.
Ladder 2?
Yep. He was on ladder 2 for a while. And let's see, so I'm trying to remember. He was also on the rescue truck. So I think when the rescue truck came to Station 2, while they were renovating up at Station 1, it you have to make your bed and unmake your bed every day. So at least for the time that B shift and C shift were switching, we both stayed in the same room.
Okay, yeah.
Opposite shifts, obviously.
Yeah.
But that was one of those spells where it's like, oh man, we don't have to make and unmake our bed every day. Because we're going to have the B shift and C shift days where as long as you make your bed up in the morning, it looks like
3 days where you don't have to,
at least you have that little bit of a break.
Yeah, the 3 days, yeah.
Time trades, every once in a while we would work, like when you were doing time trades, like I might work for somebody on B shift where he was working, or he might do the same. And we used to laugh and say, I can't actually report to him on a time trade because that's going to mess up the command dynamic in our home.
Yeah.
If the expectation is that I've got to answer to him as a captain when we get to the fire department. So I can be on the same shift and work in the same station at the same time, but probably not on the same truck.
That's hilarious. Which is we have a couple of husband and wife dynamics here, so
we do. I think that's great. I think it lends a different perspective to your marriage.
Right.
To have that commonality and to be able to, you understand the language, you understand the people, you understand the feelings when you're talking about things that you do at work. It's not for everybody, every couple can't make that work, but it has been a positive for us.
So that's having someone that knows the job.
Yes.
Obviously, I would imagine. I kind of have it myself because my wife came from out here at public education, but
and she knows something about the fire department, not just through you. She knows
Yeah.
something about the fire department from her own experience.
Right. So
And-
I think it's a little bit different, but in your even in my case to your case, like she didn't do the job, you did the job, so you understand the stressors of doing the job, and that can be something that could be hard for couples to because she doesn't understand why our personalities are the way. Like firefighters can be emotionless at times. Or learn how, or don't share, not as sharing because you don't want to trauma dump on your spouse, whoever it is, and sometimes that can come off as you're being closed off to me. But being someone who was in this position that knows what the job is like, you understood it, or I would feel like you would understand it more.
And I
than
think
someone else.
there's an understanding also of sometimes you have to pick your time to deal with it. You can't always deal with that trauma or deal with that stress right then, like people that aren't on the job might need to do to deal with it right as it's happening, because sometimes you have other more important things that need to be addressed and need to be taken care of before you have that opportunity to figure out what you're feeling and how you feel about what just happened. And so you can't always come home from work in the morning when there's been a really, really stressful call and talk about it like a spouse that's not on the job might want you to do. When you say, yeah, we had a really awful call, they want you to unpack it right then.
Yeah.
I think somebody that does the job kind of has a little bit more feeling about it's got to be the right time. You got to be able to talk about it when you're ready to talk about it, not when somebody else wants you to talk about it.
Right.
So,
how do you deal with stress? That's something that we all have to deal with. Or you had a rough day. How do you deal with it? Or a rough call? What was your way of dealing with it?
it was different as a supervisor than it was when you're just dealing with it.
Okay.
And I say that because as a supervisor, when we would have particularly bad calls, you try to get them to draw your firefighter and your driver to draw them out like right then, and just kind of see where they were, and then maybe let it rest for a day or two. Talk about it again because you wanted to know whether somebody was struggling because of the call or not. As in the non-supervisor role, I always kind of looked to see how everybody else was dealing with it, and especially early on, you try to gauge whether your reaction is extreme or not. What am I feeling, and am I feeling? Is it normal,
Right.
or is it something that is coming from another place? Being compounded because of other feelings you may have or other experiences you may have. So, and basically you just have to kind of think it through. And the good thing is there was always somebody, because of us working as a crew the way we do, there's always somebody that was in that experience with you that you can talk to.
Right.
And it just helps to filter through what actually happened, and is there anything else that I could have done or I should have done? Could I have changed the outcome? I think for me, always being able to, or wanting to feel like I had done everything that I could at the time. I think that's a conversation I've had with myself hundreds and hundreds of times. I didn't start this problem that we
Right.
got dispatched to.
Right.
My goal is to make it as good as I can make it before we have to leave, and to know that I've done the best that I can do in that particular situation. So
That's okay.
that helps.
It does. It does.
That
it does.
helps to deal with bad outcomes, is to go back through it and figure out, how could I have changed this?
Yeah.
And hopefully most of the time the answer is you couldn't have. You and your people did what you could do with the
best you could
situation that you were handed,
Right.
and that's what happened.
So that was a great response. I mean, like I said, people always ask me, like, and we talk about like how you deal with it, and everybody's going to deal with it different ways because everybody processes things different ways. Like you, I take the approach of like, as long as I did the best I could do, I could live.
What else could we have done?
I can live with it. So
Yeah.
it is what it is for me. Now,
I
go ahead.
do think being able to talk about it with the people
Oh yeah,
on your truck, the people that were in the situation with you, whether it was on the squad truck or whether it was on, the engine. Most of my career, I had to get on the ladder truck to learn how to drive the ladder truck for a while, but most all of my career has been either on an engine or a squad. That's what I loved. I loved those two trucks. But being able to talk about whatever just happened with the people that were there with you,
yeah, and we're good. We're
is the
good.
biggest benefit.
We're good at checking on each other and talking things through. And we have our own unique way of talking through
Of talking about it. It's not always a conversation you want
Yeah.
the general public or
Yeah.
anybody else to hear, because they're, it's different. It's a different way to talk about it. But I think it's the way that a lot of firefighters and emergency services personnel deal with those issues anyway.
Yeah. You mentioned that you've always enjoyed the engine squad. Why is that your preference? What about those trucks over the ladders?
I like the EMS. I like the EMS aspect of the job. Running EMS calls keeps you a little bit busier. You're you're more active than sometimes if you're on a ladder truck or you're on a engine that has a squad truck in the station with it. They don't run quite as many calls. So I like the busyness of it. I like that you get a large variety of calls, and I just liked those 2 trucks.
Okay. Wait, listen. I'm a truckie, so
I know.
but I do
Hard to have this conversation.
I did enjoy EMS when I was assigned to Engine 7.
Yeah.
Because I was talking about in the last episode. I enjoy the challenges of guessing what or trying to figure out what's going on with this patient. And then you meet a lot of people. You get because you're running a lot more calls. You're getting to see and meet people.
You get good working relationships with a lot of the people
yeah.
from EMS.
Yep. So.
So one of the I know you're going through where I was assigned, but one of the calls that I had when I was at Station 6, and I'm sure there's probably hardly many people left at EMS that I worked with when I was still in operations, but we had, it was a cardiac call, and we were talking to EMS. We got in there, evaluated the patient, and I got on the radio and said, whatever the medic unit was that was coming, I said, hey, just bring the stretcher to the door. We need to get him in the bus and get him on the way to the hospital. And the paramedic had a newer paramedic with them. And so when they pulled up to the house, the newer paramedic got out and started grabbing bags and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, just grab the stretcher and bring it to the door. And the newer paramedic said, well, but we've got to do this and we've got to do our patient eval. And he's like, I know who that is on the other end of the radio. And if she said, drive the ambulance into the living room and put this patient in the ambulance, then that's what we would do. So just get the stretcher. So when you build that kind of relationship with people from other agencies that you're working with, it gives you a really, really great feeling about the job that you're doing. So that's one of, I worked engines and squads because I would like, at least as much as the fire, I liked the EMS aspect of the job.
Okay.
So it's always nice to show up, even with some of our people that we go see a lot.
Freedom flyers.
I don't think we say that anymore. I think there was another word we're supposed to be using, but I don't remember what it is right now.
We'll flag that just in case I'm not supposed to use that word.
I think there is a more, I can't remember what it is. But anyway, even with those people, when you go to a person that you already know, you can basically fill out your paperwork on them before you ever get out of the truck. But for them to say, "Man, I'm glad you're here today," it just makes you feel like you're where you need to be and you're doing what you need to be doing.
The benefit of this job is
benefit of the job
being able to actually help someone and see that you're actually helping, or help put someone in a better space or get them in a better space to work. Even if you don't do anything that's super significant. Sometimes people just want to talk or need an ear.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just need a reason. You talk about your husband. Mm-hmm. Well, what caught your eye with him? Now, I'm just curious. No. What made you say, hey, that guy's interesting?
His energy. You talked about how he's always on around people. His energy, his enthusiasm, in instructing the classes that he taught when we were in the academy. That was what caught my eye. It's good. We can have good conversations. I think the having a common job has been a really, really good positive thing for us.
Now, outside of your uncles and your husband and yourself, there's another member in the family tree.
There is.
Who's also Captain Towner. It's a confusing world out here.
I had to go ahead. So Bill retired then I retired, so now we've just left it to my son. My son Nathan is the captain on ladder 12, which from what I understand, this other changes just in the time that I've been gone. It's going to be ladder 4. But yeah, and I think we kind of knew of all the kids that he was the one that would probably pursue a job in the fire service.
So you saw pretty, like you all knew off the pretty early.
Yeah, he's just a really good fit. He's a really good fit for the fire department. Following in his dad's footsteps on a ladder truck. He's very mechanically inclined.
He is.
You know.
I worked for him briefly for like he was on paper he's my supervisor for a year.
Okay.
But I did I was end up riding on Engine 12 when Chief Green, I don't know if she was acting or she got promoted, but anyway,
it's hard to remember on some of these
Engine
changes
12, so
sometimes.
he was on the ladder. I was riding supervisor on the engine, and then I started riding at 19, quit 19 for a while. But yeah, not as a ball of energy as Big Bill, but he definitely has the firefighter's attitude.
The firefighter's attitude,
and
heavy on the sarcasm.
very sarcastic.
He probably got a little bit of that from both of us.
Yes.
I just try to be kinder about it. But yeah, he probably got a little bit of that from both of us. It was, we always talk fire stuff.
Yeah. So how did it feel
when he was growing up?
How did it feel to be like, as a parent, seeing your son make it into the department?
Very proud.
Okay.
Very proud.
Yeah.
I'm very glad that he chose to go into the fire service. Our kids, we've got a nurse. My youngest son was in the Marines. Nathan's in the fire department. And
all service jobs.
All service jobs.
Awesome.
So that's something that I'm very proud of, that they.
That's awesome. And all of you guys, outside of just being on the department, y'all are not just in the department, y'all are active in the department. So, Captain Towner, Bill, he was member of the union. Did he run the union? What was he?
Ran the union with Captain Reardon.
Okay.
And, really pushed to bring the union, or to get the union to be a part of the Durham Fire Department and our membership, and to get some of those resources available to us.
Right.
So, and then of course Nathan's been on the union too.
Yeah.
We had what we call the Firefighters Association before that. I think Bill was active in the Firefighters Association too. So,
and then don't forget about yourself. You, the women's group, right? You did that.
I was I was in the a couple of different iterations of that.
Hey,
through the years.
Yeah. I believe I got a sticker somewhere, but
is it the heifer?
yeah, that one.
We figured, we learned we weren't really supposed to call ourselves there, but I thought it was great. I thought it was a great name.
But yeah, y'all all been very integral parts within the department as a family. So just seeing you guys, did you guys take the family photo?
Yeah, we did. We've got a couple of those.
That's awesome.
We've been here long enough that I think one of them, Nathan and I were both still drivers, and then another one we were all three. So we did get one picture when all three of us. Now Bill came back retired, but we did get one picture for the albums where all three of us were captains.
Now, do any of the grandkids look like they might get the fireboat?
I don't know. I'm hoping at least one of them does.
That's awesome. Make sure they come to Durham.
Yeah, one of them's got to stay in Durham.
Gotta come to Durham.
We got to keep that going throughout the department for another few years.
Listen, so you have this family tree, and all you guys, you can go tell fire stories around the table when you guys have Thanksgiving, when you have the big family. But at some point, your career, you made a transition out here, right? So before I get into that, I know you were at 7. You became a driver. Where else were you a driver at?
So I drove at 14 for
14.
years. I was out at 14 for a
14,
long
yeah,
time.
14.
Then, so I worked for Captain Jeff Cush out there for a long time.
Captain Cush.
We had several people come through, because 14 was slower then than it is now. And people would come out from Battalion 2, work on their relief driver, and because we had a little bit more time out there, so that was really good. Then once Captain Cush retired, once he retired, I went back to 2.
Okay.
I got moved back to Squad 2.
Squad
and that's
2.
when I started some of my squad life. So I really, really loved the squad.
Squad, okay.
And then went from there to Squad 4.
Squad 4.
And from there, I think, to Engine 6. And
That's when you came out.
And that's when I came out here. So I had always enjoyed, the public relations part. We worked, Captain Carol Reardon was out here filling in as community education for a while, and then got the position.
Right.
And so she was getting the department more involved in some of the teaching. We did some teaching with a couple of church groups out in 6's district when I was out there. And so that kind of got me a little bit interested. And when she found out she was going to have another, I was about 25 years into being in operations at that point in time. I mean, you're starting.
Plenty of time.
It takes a toll.
Right.
The gear, the weight from the gear, the climbing on and off the truck. It takes a physical toll on everybody. But, I was starting to feel that. And so Captain Reardon said that they were going to get a driver position because I was still a driver. That's by the time I got to drive, that was what I wanted to do, was drive. Right. Although I was acting captain a lot. So she had gotten this position approved,
right,
and I put in for it. This was just before COVID, I think.
Okay.
So I had been here for maybe 6 months, 8 months, and just really enjoyed it. She's a ball of energy. It was almost like you couldn't wrap your head around all the places that we were going from day one.
Shout out Captain Reardon, another couple within the fire department.
Her
husband Sean Reardon, who's retired now as well.
But I mean, I liked the energy of it. I liked the fact that we were doing something different every day. All the things that I loved about being in operations, because you're always in operations. You're doing something different every day.
Right.
So then we were kind of getting into the COVID era. She had a granddaughter, that was coming into the world, and had a few health issues in the very beginning, and that's when she decided to retire. So it was like I had about 6 or 8 months of trying to figure out what the education job looked like, and then basically I was acting captain again. It's like, wait, this was kind of supposed to be like the 5-year coast to retirement.
Now you are acting captain.
Yeah, and so then got to learn a whole new job.
Whole new job, a whole different world.
Whole new world.
You had expanded the department, right? You had Antoine came under you at some point, right? Captain Burton.
Yep.
Now Captain Burton. Then we
made like Patrick is. We got a.
There was someone else though before Patrick, right?
Yeah. Tony was doing it temporarily. We got that position to become a permanent civilian position, our public affairs analyst, which is what Patrick is now. So
I can never figure out what Patrick's title is. I mean, every time we go to make,
he may be called something else different now. Are you called something besides?
We pretty much stuck on public affairs analyst. It's in the process of changing. It's but
it should. It's kind of encompasses a whole lot. But so we got that position to be a permanent position, and that has really, I think, that's really broadened the public's knowledge of what goes on in the fire department and what firefighters do and how firefighters contribute to the community.
Yeah, you know, again, talk about technology, you know, public relations, and just being able to be out there, getting yourself out there. Social media plays a big part in today's world, and having someone like a Patrick who can put us out there in the forefront. And
Yeah, because I got nothing for that. I don't know anything about all of that stuff. I don't want to know anything about all of that stuff. So that was, I like the classes that we do with the public. I like how eager people are when you give them some information to use it. You know, I know when we're in operations, we think a lot of times you go to somebody that's got themselves into some kind of weird situation. You're like, how in the world, you know, how did that happen? And now here we are coming to fix it. But from the education side, there are a lot of people that don't do because they don't know what to do.
Right.
And so that was one of the best things about education, is giving our residents and guests and everybody some tools so that if they are in a situation they've never been in before, that they have something that they can do, whether it's stop the bleed or, you know, CPR or using a fire extinguisher or whatever. There are people that really will take that information and use it. Not everybody,
Right.
because there's still some people that are just going to be knuckleheads, but there's a significant number of people out there that want to know.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Let me get this right. Doing a lot of chatty patties over here. So you get into this public education role, and you've done a lot of great things over here. I've said it more than once, but respect to this group over here. You guys did a lot of amazing work. How's it now? Like you said, you came a couple weekends ago and saw it. How does it feel to see, like, the work that
The continuation.
the continuation
Yeah.
of your work,
I
like
love it.
the continuance of camps and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I
Like,
love it. I
like,
mean,
'cause you started an all girls camp, right? Like that was
we
that
did an
came
all
under you?
girls camp. Of course, we did our summer camps that Captain Reardon had been doing. We've got some people from some of the summer camps that have become part of the Durham Fire Department.
Yeah.
Like you said, the continuation or the continuity of that is really remarkable. It needs to continue to expand because of the way that the city continues to expand. You know, it doesn't seem like there's ever a cap on the number of people that you need to reach. That number keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Growing up.
So this division needs to get bigger to keep up with that.
Right.
And not that the fire department doesn't, because the people in operations, they need the same thing. You think about the traffic that is in Durham now, but it really, it makes me feel like I was in the right place at the right time, that I did what I was supposed to do, not to bring something to a point and stop it, but to bring it to a point where it can just keep getting bigger
growing.
and bigger.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And 1,000 toys, and using Central Park for the Toys for Rides now, as opposed to riding round and round in circles on our training grounds.
Yeah.
And that's in a really short period of time that it's expanded to that.
And shout out to everyone that donates. Toys for Rides. I think we're at 1,500.
Wow.
Got about 1,500.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
1,500. So that's it's amazing. A lot of families will be touched. That's one of the great things that this department is doing outside of, we do more than fight fires. I keep telling y'all.
Hey, the people that work for the Durham Fire Department are some of the finest people that you will ever run into. They can also be some of the crabbiest and grumpiest people at different points in time that you will ever run into. But that underlying, they're just good people, and who come in, do their job. I don't think everybody in the fire department is always about, oh, let me go out here. We're not thinking serve the community. I think we're thinking, let's do our job. Fortunately, our job does serve the community.
And I think it's just one of those one of the qualities of firefighters, especially a Durham firefighter, is just that quality of, we're going to get it done.
Get it done.
Whatever the
Exactly.
task is, whether it's trying to get toys for underprivileged people or people that
Putting
may
out
need
a
it,
fire, rescuing
whatever the
somebody.
case, like we're gonna get it done, and we want to be really good at doing it. So that's one of the qualities in the mindset, the culture we have here. It's like, get it done, no excuses, just make it happen.
Get it done.
Now, we went through your electrician career. It's a lot to cover, right? But,
I feel like we've spent a lot of time on that.
Yeah, but
I'm watching a little ticking clock up there.
yeah, we've been. I told you.
I know.
You said that's a long time. But we're gonna wrap this session up here. But before we go, I got a couple questions. One, do you have any call that stands out to you? Right, for any call, whether it's good or bad, like, is there a call that you think about or a situation that you think about that just stands out for you that's just a good memory for you in the fire department?
I have a lot of good memories. I have, I'm a big animal lover. So being able to, snag somebody's cat or dog or something for them and take it out to them. Because how in a structure fire sometimes you'll have activity going on in this part of the structure, but the room that they say that their animal is in is it's probably okay. So you can go in there and get the animal and bring it out, and they're just that relief when you can take that animal back to the person. So those are good memories. A lot of the good memories are just when you go on a call with a crew that you've worked with for a long time, and you really don't have to talk about what you're getting ready to do. Everybody falls out of the truck and they do their part,
right?
And it just goes very, very smoothly, whether it's an EMS call or whether it's a car fire or whatever it is. Everything just goes really smoothly, and then before you know it, you're packing up and getting back on the truck. So those are all things where it's just that it almost feels effortless, even though there's a physical effort to it. It just almost feels effortless to take care of that situation.
Since you retired, what is it that you missed about the job, or what do you miss about the job?
I'm glad. That is something that it took me a while. It takes a while. I think since you've been doing this for 30 plus years, to settle into the other daily routine. And so I was thinking about, I miss that working with a team, whether it's your truck crew or your squad crew, or the team that I built out here, and having that seamlessness aspect of a team that works well together. So I miss that, and that's huge in the fire department. I think that's probably one of the things that I love best about the fire department is working with different crews or teams.
Working with the team, yeah.
And then there's also an aspect of being in the fire department where you kind of feel like you know stuff that somebody else doesn't know. You listen to the ops channel on the radio and you hear what's going on at the call.
Yeah.
So I do miss that aspect. Even though, with Nathan, I still have an in to the fire department, staying in touch with y'all. You still feel like you kind of know a little bit about what's going on in the fire department. But, once you're retired, you're not part of that daily knowing what's going on.
I understand that. That makes sense.
And it's okay. It's just different.
It's just different.
Okay.
It's a second part of your life here. Yeah. What was your favorite crew? Or do you have a favorite crew? Or station? You don't have to say a crew.
I really, really loved Station 4. I love 2. 2 was my first station I came to. That's where I kind of, learned all about the squad truck and being on the squad truck and just how active they are. But then when we moved to Station 4, I loved that truck and I loved that district.
What about Ford what particular about Ford that you loved?
It was territory that I had never worked in before. So learning new territory was a little bit of a challenge, and I enjoyed that aspect of it. in and out of some of the neighborhoods that you're like, well, this is a neighborhood that these trucks are in a whole lot. But just getting to know some of the people in that community, and even on the squad truck, a lot of the time you felt like you were welcome. You were coming in to make something a little bit better before you left. So
That's awesome. I have one last question for you. How long you said you did 30 years here? Was it 30
I
years?
had about 30 and a half real
30
years.
and a half years. And you've been, so if you can go back to 31 and a half years, knowing what you know right now, would you make the same decision?
Oh, absolutely. To come to the fire department?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, in a heartbeat. The only regret that I had about the fire department is that I didn't get to the fire department sooner. It would have been nice to have come to the fire department when I was 27.
If
as
I had
opposed to 31.
if I had $1 every time I heard that,
Yeah.
I would be rich right now.
Yeah.
Look, that's
31
awesome.
plus 30 and a half years, it's, you're getting things are getting broke down. Maybe if I'd have come a little bit early.
Well, I can tell you moved around fine just to me when I came back here and started working with you. And you had the energy, obviously you have a love for helping in this community, public education, and you're really good at teaching classes. And I just want to thank you for just, being there, an advocate for the team, the whole team, and trying to advocate for expansion when it comes to trying to get recruitment going and things of
And
that
an
nature.
advocate for the department. I think that the more people, and that's one of the reasons that the public affairs position was so important, was for the people that we serve, for them to understand what the fire department does, from the slowest station to the busiest station to the education for the community. I mean, I just don't think people appreciate that quite as much as I want them to appreciate that. That the fire department is, they're always out there.
Well, listen, whether they appreciate it or not,
They should.
Durham firefighters are going to do their job.
They're going to do their job.
They're going to do their job. So,
exactly.
Listen, I appreciate you coming out here again on your day off, one of your many days. I mean, I say that, but you are busy.
I stay busy. You gotta stay busy.
Y'all retirees don't know how to retire. Y'all not doing it right.
Going to the retirees lunch. The retirees meet for lunch every Wednesday.
Let's talk about it because people don't know about that.
Oh yeah, and it's not. Sometimes there's 6, sometimes there's 14 or 15. So it's not like we pack the place in. But
this is part of that camaraderie that we talk about in fire service. So.
It's so fun to see, and a lot of these people have been retired a lot longer than I have. But then to see like Gray's coming, some of the newer retirees are starting to come to the lunches too. So it's just fun to catch up with everybody and to see these people. And I have so much respect for.
Yeah, y'all do that. How often y'all meet up, the retirees?
Every Wednesday at noon, and we're going to one of the restaurants close to 85 in Old Northgate right now.
Nice.
And we'll do that for a while, and then I guess if they get bored, they'll pick another restaurant to go to.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome that you guys still meet up as a retiree community and just still support each other and see each other and keep up with each other.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. Appreciate your time. Thank you for coming out. We're right at an hour and a half.
I can't believe it.
Told you.
Can't believe that.
Chatty Patty. Patrick, do you Patrick, you have anything for us, man?
Yeah, she said there's no way I'm gonna get to an hour and a half, and here we are at hour and 34 minutes.
Okay, that's enough. Stop it.
Thank you for hiring me. Thank you for showing me how to think like a firefighter a little bit. And thanks for coming on. Merry Christmas, everybody. If you haven't yet, please subscribe and rate us 5 stars and tell your friends about us so the more people listen. The more people that listen, the bigger this can be. But besides that, Tim, Captain Towner, Merry Christmas, and thanks for another good episode.
All right, thank you. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, happy holidays. You listen to another episode of Bull City Bravest. Like, follow, subscribe. This is podcast for firefighters by firefighters and for people aspiring to be firefighters. Please Like, subscribe. If you have questions, send them in. And until next time, ho, ho, ho.